Michael Chammas in the Sydney Morning Herald, Brian. Jarome Luai has until April 30 next year to trigger a 3-year option in his contract to remain at the club beyond the end of 2026. West Tigers Chief Executive Shane Richardson trumpeted Luai's signing as a 5-year deal. This masthead revealed his contract is for an initial 2-year period, which expires at the end of 2026, with a 3-year option in his favour to stay at the club until the end of 2029. Luai has until the start of round 9 next year, so it feels like a bit like the Dylan Brown scenario, to decide on his future, but he's free to open negotiations with rival clubs on November 1 this year if he chooses to test the market.
What a convoluted clause. Why would they allow that? I suppose maybe that's part of the reason why he went to the Tigers. But you would think if you're going to sign someone for 5 years and invest all their money in Lockie Galvin's moving on, and then he's allowed to negotiate with rivals on November 1 this year, I find that.
But you're paying also a premium.
Yeah.
If you want the premium, you come in here. There's no player options.
Well, I would presume he will take up the option because at the moment,
exactly,
there wouldn't be too many clubs willing to pay him the 1.1, 1.2 that he's rumoured to be on.
Yeah, but that's the whole point, right? So if the player in this situation takes up the option, it probably means that, holy dooly, they want that. In other words, overs.
Yes. I just find it hard to understand why clubs would fall into this, would fall into, like you want to set your you got 5 years, so you want your salary cap.
So Penrith don't do player options, apparently.
I don't know. Well, maybe not.
I think currently Penrith, Melbourne and the Roosters, and I could be wrong, don't have or do player options.
Well, there's the ones there where you can take up. I've seen them where it's in the player's favour or the club's favour. I never saw them in my contract, but now to have a contract and 2 years into it, you're allowed to negotiate with a rival club.
You've already got top dollar.
Yeah.
He's already getting like a big price tag. Why are we also giving him an option? My head spins off with this stuff, Brian.
The only thing I can think of is that's the reason why he's gone to the Tigers. So if his management team had him going to the Gold Coast or wherever, Parramatta, and the other clubs went, no way, I'm not doing this. This is not part of our. If you're here, you're here. 5-year deal. This is, and then the Tigers are going, well, righto.
So how much is he on reportedly?
Isn't it $6 million over 5 years?
Well, mate, honestly, Jarome, listen, Jarome, you've had a great career. Maybe your best is behind you. Maybe the best is in front of you. We don't know. But what we know is you've never in your life had $6 million over 5 years. So here it is right now to lead the. You're not getting a player option on top of that.
Well, he is. He's getting that.
That's so dumb.
3-year option in his favour to stay at the club until 2029. But maybe these teams that are at the lower end of the table, this is what they have to sort of agree to get the stars there. Anyway, I know you're angry. Sit down.
It's so dumb. It is so dumb.
Take a breath. What about their fullback? What's going on in the other contract?
Well, he's been tossed up to rival clubs as a prospective November 1 target.
Oh, gosh.
Sources with knowledge of the situation said the Bullers manager, Isaac Moses, has already begun seeing if rival clubs are interested in the Tigers fullback.
Are they interested? Of course they'll be interested.
Yes.
Lock him up.
Okay, so Moses took over as Jahream Bula's manager after his previous agent, Liam Ayub, left to join the Bulldogs. He was a recruitment manager, or he has become a recruitment manager at the Bulldogs. So he can clearly not manage Bula. So therefore, Moses has taken the reins, Brian. Now, if the Tigers decide to exercise the option, Bula will play the 2020 season on a salary of...
It's a beauty. I'll read the rest of it.
I can't read it, Brian.
Listener, Joel, his hair's out. He's pulled all his hair out. We're going to have time off. You're going to have 5 in the bin.
Yep.
If the Tigers decide to exercise the option, Bula will play the 2020 season on a salary of $900,000. That's right, listener. That's $100,000 less than $1 million. If the Tigers decide against retaining Bula at that price, he has the opportunity of taking up a player option at $800,000. All stations to convoluted town. So 900,000 if he agrees.
Oh man,
he doesn't say it's 800,000. Oh, this is a good one for you. Are you keeping Jarome in front of Bula, or are you keeping Jahream in front of Luai?
Ooh.
If it comes, Well, Tigers fans, what are you doing here?
Are they dollar for dollar?
The dollar for dollar. Well, they're pretty close. I'm going with
How long's the
Bula.
contract? Because that's important.
3 years.
Oh.
I'm going Bula. I love a hypothetical Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm maybe going Bula.
I'm going Bula.
I'm maybe going Bula.
Well, Tigers fans, text through. Are you going, if it, I mean, this is not happening, but it's a Bears Heads Tuesday hypothetical. Are you keeping Jarome or Jahream?
I don't know what we're keeping.
There's only a valve in it.
Tigers, I don't know what we're keeping, but what we're not keeping is options of any kind. Our options, their options, they're gone. Just sign them. Do you want to be here or you don't? And I know that I'm the minister of complicating things, Brian, but...
This is very... Did you have anything to do with this?
It might be osmosis. It might have been my time there has just infiltrated the place.
But now, in saying this, as a player, you've got your management doing the right thing by you, and these two players in particular, they're in the box seat. They can't lose here. Like
Both can't lose.
They can't. Like if Perth come over and say, "Oh, listen, we've just read about this, Jarome and Jahream, we're going to give you."
You can't offer top dollar and also give options to the player. In my opinion.
Anyway, let's go to here. This is from Mitch. Hey, boys, just wonder if you heard from Big Sexy lately. Seems it's been ages. Yeah, hope he's doing okay. Haven't spoke to him. So, Sexy, if you're out there, text through. I know he came into Maddie's show one day. Bad Dragons, man.
Oh, yep.
Sitting at the front.
Yeah, good.
Looks in good nick, too. Statsy, why does Joel hate the Tigers?
I don't hate the Tigers. I hate what we do. And, Statsy, if you go through what we've achieved in the past, every time I burr up about something like this, it's kind of validated what I've said. And this is so dumb. Like, why have we... If reportedly he's got $6 million over 5 years, okay, that's fair enough. I can understand that. But then you give him an out after 2 years. Police Academy, please. Please.
Lundy says he wants to get rid of Jarome and get Galvin back. Fletch, while on contracts, what are your thoughts on Marky Mark? Will he stay at the Roosters? Popeye. Geez, I hope he does stay. But we heard Rat talking yesterday, and he's very keen to have another crack at the World Cup.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Titans ownership, by the way, there is a minor change here. Titans announced that the Frizzell family will assume full ownership of the franchise. I thought they had full ownership, concluding 7 successful years of co-ownership with the Kelly family that began in 2017, Brian. So Daryl Kelly, he'll remain on the Titans board while Brett Frizzell joins as a director, ensuring continuity as the club pursues success both on and off the field. Now, since 2017, those 9 seasons, they've had 3 coaches, 1 finals appearance. And that was 2021 under the reins of Justin Holbrook. I think you'll find they've not had any winning seasons. The most wins was 10 in that same year, 2021. And when we say winning seasons, that's sort of a term you hear in the NFL. Did you win more than you lost? Currently in last at the moment with 4 wins and 11 losses. So people will challenge the comment that says after 7 successful years, I think, Brian.
Right. What about they get the package deal Kings? Remember that? There was that fantastic furniture, the package deal Kings? Don't know, but what if they go bellyache, Jarome Hughes, let's come up to the Gold Coast.
Yep, love that.
Let's just hang out. And Munster, you
love
come
that
up as well.
Has there ever been a place who talks more rugby league than SEN? You don't need to answer that, folks. You know the answer to that, and the answer is no. There's never been. Tomorrow, you can join the call, the Blues radio call, the Maroons radio call, the Neutral call, and after the call, there'll be the wrap-up show where we'll have the representation of the Blues call, the Queensland call, and the Neutral call, all joined together for that. But you take your pick on the SEN app. If you're heading out to the ground, click on Stadium, and you will get it before anyone else. SEN Stadium is the way to do that. As far as team news is concerned, Jacob Kiraz remains 18th man for the New South Wales side, and Reece Walsh remains 18th man of the Queensland side. And that's pretty much all you need to know right now, because that means at this point in time, no change, which means Brian Toto expected to play, which means that, Payne Haas expected to play. Hudson Young expected to play. And we wish all the best to the Munster family. And at this stage, he'll be playing as well, and Billy Slater said as much as that as well. So that's the latest when it comes to State of Origin. The Sharks take on the Dolphins, the Battle of the Sea, Brian.
Yes, we've got a shark and a dolphin. Sugar's just put me off.
Oh, yes.
I just won, ladies and gentlemen. We're having a bet if Sugar would push my button, and he certainly has. Sharks. So I was waiting to see if Atkinson might be put in. Well, he's in the squad.
So have the Sharks gone to the Atkinson diet, Brian? Have they?
Just the one change. Daniel Atkinson is coming onto the bench, but it's the same. It's the same team that got pumped by the Storm. Let's go to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
No Cody Nikorima. He's out for 5 weeks, 5 to 7 weeks. Yeah. So Shawnee O'Sullivan is going to go into 6. So Tabuai Fido is going to be in the number 1 jersey. Max Fine shifts to the centres. Jake Averillo to the wing. Mark Nichols is starting at the prop. So there's a little bit going on here, but this is Sharks. This is the most important game of their season.
100%.
I know we've been saying this the last couple of weeks, but this is it.
Hammer's not playing, Brian.
No, they cannot lose to the Dolphins.
Is Tupu on the extended bench because
no, but
Averillo goes to fullback, right? We know that, right?
The meat tray's in though.
Who's the meat tray?
He's gone to
Tupu's Roosters.
He's got the Chooks.
Oh, Trey Fuller.
So the meat tray is in at number 19.
Who's gone to the Chooks?
Tupu.
Oh, young Tupu. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Sorry.
Oh, Trey Fuller.
Yep.
Yeah. So
You reckon he won't be back, will he?
Well, I reckon he's named because he's cover for Hammer. Unless they put Trey Fuller back to fullback, Hammer comes through okay. He might be in the centres, and they'll put Jake Averillo.
What about the sneak go in the centres? That was quiet, wasn't it?
What?
The centre for the Dolphins.
Maxi Fino.
Maxi?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
That's been a quiet sort of transition. We haven't really seen him.
No, he's played a couple of games.
The
not a heap of him.
Twins have done a bit of centre work in the Dragons.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's interesting. Averillo, he's turning into Dale Shearer. Playing fullback, wing, centre, 5'8". Like, he's very versatile.
Yeah. Are you surprised the Sharks
believe in the
haven't made
centres.
any changes? I'm actually a bit perplexed about this. I know Fitzy's a loyal sort of bloke, but I just thought after last week when he had that team meeting and he said, right, this is it. We're going to have an honesty session. I thought they may have
Who have you seen there, Brooks?
changed it.
No, it's the Atkinson situation, right? He's slowly just brought him in as a 14 now. So that's the ability to change the game by bringing him on and putting him in.
But he was only last week he was.
18,
Yeah,
man,
but
hasn't he?
he's been on the bench playing 14, not getting a run.
It's kind of, you know what? It is kind of the Galvin scenario that they have, the Sharks, where Atkinson, like his win rate when he starts, they just kind of win. But on paper, how do you get him to start? Do you see what I'm saying there, Brian?
Yes.
The Atkinson diet.
Yeah, it's a beauty. No carbs, but you got high cholesterol.
Yeah.
When you're on the Atkinson diet.
Yeah.
So you got to weigh it all up.
Dude.
Anyway, let's get into this. Let's. We got the mud crab over here.
No, we
sorry.
got the tour. We got the Brooks.
Knights Storm Gents up at McDonald Jones Stadium. Fletcher Hunt comes into the side at fullback for Kalen Ponga, who's got the Liz Frank, Elizabeth sideline. While winger Greg Marju returns from injury, he had that arm injury. Schiller now goes to the reserves. Forward pack boost for the Knights. Leo Thompson is back from his suspension. So Frizz moves from the front row to lock. Phoenix Crossland goes to hooker. Jaden Brayley to the bench. Thomas can't get a spot in the starting side. He'll be 18th man. While the Storm, so Pappy was out last minute in the Cowboys match. He's actually good to go. He'll start at fullback. Nick Meaney returns to centre. Grant Anderson, Broncos bound Grant Anderson, pushes out to the wing. Stefano Utoikamanu has been named on the bench, but Cameron Munster, Harry Grant, Trent Loiero have been named among the reserves and may not back up. Jack Howarth, 18th man after recovering from appendicitis.
We sure Pappy's going to play?
Not sure. Not 100%.
He pulled out last week.
Yeah.
Who's the number 24 for Melbourne, Brooks?
Ooh. Can you scroll back there, Fletch?
I can do that.
Number 24, Keegan
G'day.
Russell Smith.
Oh, put him on.
What a week.
Put him on,
Who is it,
please.
Brian?
Keegan, g'day. Russell,
g'day.
g'day. Smith,
G'day.
where's the cheese?
I'll tell you what, this odd number thing's really catching on. So late mail, Daily Telegraph, or Courier Mail, wherever.
Tell the listeners what we came up with.
Well, you guys sort of came up with it that, you're seeing a bit of 4 to 6, 6 to 8 with injuries, 2 to 4s, even numbers.
It's all evens.
But it seems like something's happened this week. We had the Finns, Cody Nikorima, around 5 weeks following his hamstring injury.
Yep.
Night Storm.
What have they got?
Kane Bradley is expected to start on the right wing until at least round 20, with Suafaa Longo facing a further 7 to 9 weeks on the sidelines with a
Well done.
hamstring tick.
Well done, medical team. Sometimes you just forget about the odds, don't you?
Sometimes the best change of shirt is no change of shirt. Tourist, come on,
What are you
mate.
trying to say?
Well, you've come in here
It's
unironed.
unironed. It's unironed.
Zero Jeremys.
I know.
Zero Andy.
I know, but it's still a nice colour, though.
What colour? It's
Burnt orange is what
Yeah,
we're going
it's
with.
burnt.
It's like
Burnt orange,
You know, it's
yeah.
like Ayers Rock.
An-ironed orange.
You look like
Oh, yeah.
Ayers Rock. All I want to do is just climb you, you bastard.
You do you, Uluru. What do you got?
Dragons versus the...
I just want a big rope on you, just leaving myself up. And I want to fall into one of your crevices.
It does take a couple of days to walk around me.
Okay.
Dragons versus the Roosters. Dragons versus the Roosters. The Dragons. Val Holmes, he has been named to back up from Origin. So Corey Allen goes to 18th man. Luciano Leilua and Hamish Stewart are both back. So Michael Molo,
Francis.
Polo.
there it is, he reverts to the bench. For the Roosters, Sammy Walker, he is back. So he had the ACL injury. He recovered from that. Got the thumb injury, which delayed his comeback from the ACL. He is now back. That's only got to be good for his ACL, right? I know it's unfortunate that he had the thumb injury, couldn't play. But if you could give fully fit ACL injury, you're clear to play.
Yep.
However, here's another 4 to 5 weeks off just in case.
3 to 5, yeah.
3 to 5. You got to be happy. Billy Smith and Victor Radley, they're also back on deck. For
What happened to Billy
the
Smith
Roosters.
last week?
Knee, it says.
Okay.
Knee injury.
Yeah, but
Victor-
not too bad. I think it was just Mickey Rourke.
They're both back. And all the Origin stars, Bobby Toyer, Connor Watson, Lindsay Collins, Angus Crichton, and Spencer Lenu, they've all been named for the Roosters. Dragons versus the Roosters.
Cogra Jubilee too, so they don't need the trip to the
Walker's
gong.
on.
So we had a look at this. Me and Brooksy, and we're thinking, obviously, there's a Roosters team, there's a pack here. Get this pack into you. White, Watson, Collins, Crichton, Fiketti, Radley. Bench of Docker Clay, Steve Butcher, Lenu. Up against Gula, Cook, Clemmer, Leilua, Sewer, DeBellin. You got your work cut out there, I feel.
That he ran. Nafao White ran for 111 post-contact
Yeah,
meters.
post-contact
That's
meters.
That's a good one. Just running 111
Correct.
meters without
Yeah.
some guy on your back.
Yeah.
Like that's with people on your back.
Yeah.
That was I'm scared.
There was
I'm
a
very
lot.
scared.
If you
how
go
many
back and watch the game
post-contacts he's gonna-
of the Roosters last week, there was a lot that sliding doors.
Yeah, I know.
The drop ball and Latu scoops upon it. Tommy Rodwell, I reckon he actually scored, to be honest with you. There was so
Hang on.
much.
Listen, you don't want to. You're already known as a Rabbits hater. You don't want to be known as a Tigers hater.
I'm
Considering,
not a Tigers hater.
well, just let them bask in their glory.
Yes, it was 5 tries to 4.
Based.
Basque, isn't it?
Anyway,
Basque.
Region of Spain.
I tell you what I did notice,
That's
and I
cute.
loved it.
Yeah,
Absolutely
that's
loved it. Adam Dewey, if you watch him this week, I watched him the week before, and he was lifting his head up, Brian.
Dewey.
He was really concerted effort. He kicked the ball, and
Down.
he'd keep the head down until the ball went through,
7 from 7.
and he didn't miss a kick. So
I'm going to do that tomorrow at
a
golf.
notable addition. Yes.
I'm going to do that tomorrow at golf. I'm just going to practice.
Don't worry
Go
where
on.
it goes. Just
Continue on.
Yep.
Tourist, go on, you big mud crab.
No, we need to go a
I
break.
just want to chop
Yeah,
your
we-
legs off and just suck all the flesh out of it.
Cowboys take on the Bulldogs, and here's the facts, folks. Here is the facts as how this is shaping up. For the home side, the Cowboys, their big 4 of Ruben Cotter, Tom Dearden, Jeremiah Nanai, and Reece Robson all been named. You can understand that. This game is being played at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. Carl Lawton's back from suspension, so he'll be there. Murray Talangi has been listed amongst the reserves as he returns from a knee injury. So that's where we land there. For the Bulldogs, the returner skipper Stephen Crichton, I've got big question marks here. Would you see a player finish an Origin series on a Wednesday night, and would you throw him on a plane to Townsville? I'm very sceptical of that, but he has been named in the setters. So he will send Matt Burton back to 5'8". Lockie Galvin goes back on the bench. Max King and Kurt Mann have also been named, and my same sentiment applies to those two. I'd be absolutely shocked if both those men make their way to North Queensland. I could be wrong. So therefore, Harry Hayes goes to the bench. Bailey Hayward starts at lock, and Jakey Turpin goes to 18th man. Winger Jacob Carraz is 18th man for the Blues on Wednesday night and has been named to line up. What do we make of all that, boys?
I agree totally. I don't think he'll be going up there. Kurt Mann, maybe because
Off the Judith?
yeah, considering how much time he gets, but Stevie Crichton definitely, and he's got that injury too. He's been carrying a groin or a quad.
Yep.
Too far to go. They're still sitting in the top top 4. So,
What about
Risk versus reward.
Maxi King?
well, I reckon Max King will go because he's only been averaging like 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
Do you reckon if they won last week, maybe
Yeah,
everyone doesn't go up. Maybe
Maybe.
this week. They need to stay in touch with the top two. I know top four's the sort of Mickey sweet area that you need to be in, but top two's bloody nice too. You want to be playing the prelim at a core.
I've had an epiphany.
70,000 people.
I've had an epiphany.
We need a sting for Epiphany Genders.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Maybe
an
just
early
her
crow?
voice.
I'm Epiphany Genders.
No, there's a different. Epiphany is Epiphany Genders.
It's a
Can we work on that?
I've had an epiphany.
Genders.
See the light.
We're
maybe?
thinking this way, and fair enough. You know what? He will go. He will go. He'll go up there and he'll claim the NRL Dally M Captain of the Year. Like he's such a leader. The probable reason he's been named, he'd be saying to Ciro, I'm going to be there, mate. I'm going to be there.
He might go up as a support.
Yeah.
I don't think
so.
I'd be just saying, mate, please, we need you for the next
Of course.
12 weeks. You just cool your jets.
Yeah, I wouldn't be sending him.
So there you go. That's the Cowboys taking the Bulldogs. Let's move on to the Wars and the Tigers. This game, 2 p.m. Australian time at Go Media Stadium, Brian.
Yeah, and the Warriors, well, they can't take a trick. We've had the bad news of Luke Metcalf being out and Charles Nickel-Klukstad. So your man, our man, Tane Tua Mickey, he's going to be lining up at fullback for his first game since round 10.
Wow.
Luke Metcalf is out. Tanner Boyd is now. This is huge. He's got to steer this team around. But my reports, the reports we're getting, is he's been braining it in New South Wales Cup, and he was a prodigy, wasn't he, as a kid coming through?
But he was Australian schoolboys halfback, and I tell you what, he can goal kick. So if they're scoring in sixes, this mob.
Okay. Jackson Ford and Leka Halasima have both moved into the starting side. And Tanner Stowers-Smith earns a recall on the bench. West Tigers, Jarome Luai hoping to back up. So Adam Dewey will be going to the centres. Luke Laulili drops out. Hooker Api Coruscant returns from concussion. And debutant Tristan Hope goes back to the bench.
They're not debutant.
Second game.
Second game. Third game.
Last week's.
Third game. He's played 3. This will be last week's debutant. That's right. They're wrong. NRL. I shouldn't have listened to them. That's his second game, last third game this week. Jackie Bird is coming on the bench, and Charlie Murray and Kurt Laulili drops
Charlie.
to the reserves. I thought Tristan Hope was very good.
Yep.
He's got an unusual way he throws the ball.
Yeah.
Have you seen the way Lockie Galvin throws the ball too?
Well, he did the no-looker for Sione Fa'inu.
It must be the way they're taught. It's a big elbows up.
If there was a best gifts come badly wrapped award last week, he probably gets it. Talon De Silva leaves.
Yep.
All
Definitely.
hope is not lost because you've
Probably.
got Tristan.
Yeah. He's crowned.
It's great to see.
Yeah.
A player like that step up and play well against a Chook side who are looking good.
Probably, definitely. These guys met in round 13, Brooksy. It was round 13 where Penrith pretty much started to get their mojo together. It wasn't a huge win, but they kept the Parramatta side to very minimal points. Since then, they have averaged about 12 points conceded per game, which is the kind of numbers that they've won the comp on the last few years. How do you see this one, Brooks, man?
All right. Talked about Tristan Hope before. The person he replaced, Talon De Silva, will be named on the bench to start to come on for his first action in the blue and gold. Charlie Geimer starts in the place of Kelma Tuolangi, who's suspended, while Sam Tuivasa returns from his syndesmosis injury on the bench. Experience outside back. Bailey Simonson is listed among the reserves. He's had a bit of a bad run with injuries. He had a foot injury recently. He's been coming back through New South Wales Cup, so hopefully Bailey will be back in the side this week. Panthers. So all the Origin stars are named on the reserves bench, so not in the 17. So that's Cleary, Yeo, Martin, Edwards, To'o. Should Cleary not back up, however, Bradley Schneider will call the shots at halfback. Dane Laurie, Paul Alamotti, Matt Eisenhuth and Isaiah Papali'i are all in the 17 for the other 4. So if they are out, they'll step up in their place. Boys, Eels, Panthers.
Did you know? Do you feel number 21 will be getting a run?
Which one?
Bailey Simonson.
For the other team.
For the other team, sorry.
Yeah, I think he's a big chance. Big chance.
Yeah, Brian To'o won't play. I don't think Dylan Edwards will play. But in years gone by, or this year especially, after Origin 1 and 2, he said, Ivan never named them, not even on
Yeah, no,
events.
but this is like a Wednesday
Desperado.
game to a Sunday.
Desperado.
Mate,
They're in the 8 now too.
Yeah, mate, 100%. Like, it is health check. After the game, the game's in Sydney, which helps. So the Origin game's in Sydney. if they can play, they'll play. That they will absolutely play. What's their next game, Brooks? Can you see their draw? Have they got a bit of a break
Panthers.
after this? Is there like an 8-day turnaround, or because that'll play a major part, I reckon. But I reckon I can't see Brian Tottle playing, but
They might have the Marcus.
They were flying to Warriors
They
last time
have.
as well.
They're back. They're still at Combank again next week for the Rabbitohs.
what day?
That is a Friday night, and then Combank
so
again
it's a short
for
day
Tigers.
turnaround again.
Yeah.
Are they done with their Marcuses, or they got no one to go? Yeah, they're done, aren't they?
No buys.
No boys.
Oh, that's tough because you've got to have. You're asking them to do 2 short turnarounds. So you're asking them to go Wednesday, Sunday, Friday. Is that what the request
Wednesday,
is?
Sunday.
But these
yes.
are, and they're games that they can't drop.
Three
They're
games in
Three,
11
days.
three teams
9
outside the
days.
8 and rivals really in the Eels, Rabbitohs, and Tigers. Like they're games they've got to win.
They're not home yet.
No, they're not home. No way. No way.
They're not home. Are you ready, Uluru?
I'm ready. Titans versus Broncos, final game of the round. Big boost for the Titans. They've got Jaden Campbell back, as well as David Fafita named on the bench.
Right.
His first game since round number 8. Tino and Mo Fotuweka have both been named. And if you could do this, please, crap stat me.
Crap stat.
Not sure where I heard this, but the top 4 teams in the NRL on the ladder,
Yes.
all 4 of those teams have a half that used to play for the Titans.
No way.
Jamal Fogarty,
Tick.
Toby Sexton,
Tick. Jarome Luai.
Jerome Luai,
Tick.
No.
Jerome Hughes.
no, Jerome Hughes, sorry, Jerome
Sorry.
Hughes, and now Tanner Boyd.
Wow,
Top 4.
that is
All
the
4.
crappest stat
That
we've
is-
ever had.
yeah.
No
on this
idea where
show.
I heard it, but really good start, really good one.
Who
Yeah.
came up with that?
I genuinely can't remember. So
that-
for the
He was Rugby
Broncos,
League guru.
oh
Sorry?
yeah,
That's the
Regular
crappest
going.
stat we've
Who's
ever
that?
produced.
yeah, absolutely crap.
No, I don't think it is crap.
Thank you, Mitch.
I like
But
all
crap
that sort
being
of
good.
Yeah. No, crap's crap, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
You're
for
welcome,
the
guys.
Not
for the
the crap
Broncos,
stats.
for the Broncos, Pat Carrigan, Payne Haas, and Kevin Shibasaki, they are named to back up from Origin. Reece Walsh is back in the number 1 jersey. Selwyn Cobbo is 18th man for this.
He was good last week.
But
He
there
should-
is
you know what? He should leave. He should go to the Dolphins. I feel that he
Ooh.
should leave.
Epiphany genders.
30.
Yeah. No, not next year.
Oh, yeah.
Ben Hunt. Ben Hunt's back as well. He returns at hooker after missing 6 games with a hamstring injury.
Say that again.
Hookah.
Ben Hunt is
Yeah,
back
yeah.
at hooker.
Okay, you know billiards. What's another name for billiards?
Billiards, snooker, or pool.
So you say snooker,
Snooker and
but
pool.
you don't say hookah.
Hookah.
You say hookah.
Hooker.
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 Yeah. LJ. LJ Hooker. You know what LJ is?
LJ Hooker, yeah.
Hookah.
Hooker?
Steve
What am I
Hooker.
saying?
You're saying hookah.
Well. That means that everyone, all those players have dropped out. But somebody listed amongst the reserves
Hookah Doncic.
is...
Oh, yeah. Now we're cashing out, boys. We're cashing
Could be a
out.
late call-up after
No,
the
I don't
injury.
care. The dream's over. The dream's over. We're cashing
Dreams are
out.
free.
Yeah.
Dreams are free.
Is that all you got, Doris?
Yeah, that's it. Sorry,
Okay.
that's me. Titans versus Broncos.
Okay, nothing for our man, Marky Warren, no?
Nah, nothing. He's fallen off. He doesn't care as much about me anymore. So.
Okay, all right. Squeaky, we'll get
Sorry,
you
Mark.
oil. What, you're still here? Well, you can see more on the Joel and Fletch socials and catch us live on SEN Radio, you beautiful humans.